Taking control of your leads, owning them. So when they come in as a new lead, you can, ask them a lot of questions when they're looking to move, what's their price range, and really to get them in the door to lease.
So for me, I like to speak things into existence. So if I'm on a tour or if I'm meeting with a prospect, I always make it seem like they're already a resident here.
My personal favorite is the assumptive close because I prefer to use words like will and when on the tour, just because I feel like it makes it a little more of a personalized experience. So for example, we'll walk through the parking structure and I'll say, when you move in here, parking won't be an issue for you because we'll have an assigned space for both yours and your husband's vehicles. It just really kind of brings them in and makes them feel like they're already part of the community, even though they're still in kind of their initial tour.
To make the apartment their apartment. So once you've found something that you think fits them best, that they're the most into, then you can start kind of phrasing things more as their apartment. So like, what kind of things would you put in your living room? Or yes, your apartment is on the 3rd floor, or it does come with a garage.
The 3-step codes, which is summarize, invite, and initiate. I found that residents or prospective residents sometimes like to or need to be reminded of what they want, what they said they want. So you wrap that up, you invite them to make it their home, and you initiate because you can invite them, but unless you give them the tools to do it, then they can't apply.
I've noted follow-ups have been very effective for me, especially with leasing. I know they have a few other places they're going to be going to, so following up has definitely been a key to most of my leasing successes.
Number one is product knowledge. Knowing as much as you can about the community and how it compares to your competitors is huge. The other thing that I've used very effectively is just knowledge of our area and our micro market, the changes that are coming as this is an up and coming neighborhood, and when they're coming and how that might affect a potential new resident.
The alternative close because it helps narrow down the options for the prospect, makes it easier for them to choose between 2 options than rather, maybe a dozen that you may have for them. After finding out what they like or don't like, I can narrow it down and say, do you like apartment ABC or apartment XYZ? And it gives them an easier choice and gives them the final say in their apartment.
So at the start of every tour, I like to create a sense of urgency.
Creating a sense of urgency.
My most effective closing tool is definitely urgency.
Creating urgency. To me, closing isn't just something that should be focused in the actual end of a tour, but employed throughout the entire touring process. By doing this, I find that this creates higher level of trust between me and the prospect, as well as a happier client in the end because they wind up in the perfect apartment for them as opposed to having to settle for the second best choice.
Offering a 30-day guarantee for our new residents, although it is not used very often, just gives residents peace of mind knowing that they can always vacate their apartment if they don't like it. It always is a good tool to reel in that application.
Reminding our prospects the ease of our application process. We require very little documentation as far as pay stubs and tax returns and all the other items that most other rental communities require. So that ensures that the process is very quick and easy, quick and painless, and you get in your home faster.
My most effective closing tool is the non-optional close. Basically, when you come in, as soon as you walk in the door, you have no option but to lease. So we're going to go straight to the computer and start filling out your application today. Sound good?
I'm trying to create an environment for prospects where it's something that they just don't want to miss out on. So we just created a perception that this is the right place for them to be, and as we're wrapping up the tour, just be like, I think this is the right fit for you, and I wouldn't want to miss out on something that's just going to be a great opportunity.
Offering to take their deposit so they have a 24-hour hold to make their final decision, and that usually ends up in a lease.
What is the most effective closing tool?
Would you like to come downstairs and fill out an application?
Making sure to ask for the sell is the biggest, hardest thing, but just before we get back, just asking them really quick, hey, have you made a decision? When are you gonna make a decision? And if you're not now, let me follow up with you. So that's really helped me a lot in leasing.
Just ask. Just ask.
Asking a guest right after they've toured if they are ready to apply now, if they're ready to apply today.
Persistence. I close every tour with a business card, application, and a smile. I want all of my prospects to leave with a positive feeling about me and my community.
Personality, every interaction, and finding that commonality of interest. I think establishing a comfort level with your prospect or resident is a priceless asset that will separate you from the competition.
So my secret is always with me.
My most effective closing tool, and the closing tool I think is probably everyone's most effective, is themselves. Everyone has their own individual personality, and everyone has their own spin on the way they do things. And I feel like that is the most effective tool that we all have in our arsenal. Every community has amenities. Every community will have 4 walls and a place to put your bed, but not every community has you as an individual.
Using yourself and being confident in the tour that you just gave and being confident in the product that you're selling.
Just being genuine. What I lease from me, yeah, it doesn't feel right. I feel like whenever we go and do the comms, it shows that they're pushing to get that sell. They're not making that human connection.
My most effective closing tool would have to be my smile.